Redo You, the podcast that teaches you tools and strategies so you can build the confidence to rediscover and reinvent yourself. With me, Emma Hull, your favorite life coach. Each week, I'll introduce a concept that you can implement right away so you can live your most authentic life. Let's get started. Hello and welcome back to another episode of the Redo You podcast. And this week, it's the week between Christmas and New Year, that wonderful liminal space where you're in a bit of a food coma. And this week, I'm going to talk to you about setting your goals, your intentions, your resolutions, whatever you want to call them, for 2025. I'm going to talk about why it's important to do that, tell you how to do it, or share some tips for how to do it, and then recap on what you'll actually get out of it. So to begin with, why is it important? Well, setting goals is obviously, it's a huge part of what I teach as a life coach. I'm always talking about setting goals, and it really helps you with both your personal and your professional development. You get more out of life when you set goals. And actually, goal setting is a really fun way to use your brain's reward system rather than using social media, chocolate, those things. You can use life as a mechanism to trigger that reward system. When you have something to look forward to, let's say you're planning a road trip in June, that gives you that anticipation, that planning, that excitement, and that creates dopamine release in your brain. And dopamine is linked to pleasure, reward. It really is one of our main happy hormones. And research has actually shown that something crazy like 90% of the pleasure that we get out of experiences comes from the anticipation, the planning, the looking forward to. So whatever it is that you're planning within your goals for 2025, you're going to get more out of them by having a plan and looking forward to them rather than just doing things on the spur of the moment. Now, when you have goals set and you achieve them, again, you get a dopamine hit, and that gives you confidence and motivation to keep going and to take on more and to move forward. So really, goal setting is super powerful. Here's how to do it. What I'd love for you to do, if you haven't already, is listen to last week's episode 41, where I talk about reviewing your 2024 and looking at all the highlights. And the reason I'd like you to do this is so that you can start doing your planning for 2025 from a buoyed up, confident, joyful place. When you've gone back and revisited all of your achievements in the past year, again, we're working with your brain here. You're getting that prefrontal cortex activated. And the prefrontal cortex is the creative, the planning part of your brain. And so you're going to have a more powerful planning session if you do that reflection on all of your successes. The next thing to help you with planning is to categorize. And I recommend using the categories that I use with my life coaching clients in the Wheel of Life. And as I was preparing for this episode, I realized I haven't talked about the Wheel of Life. So that's going to be next week's episode. Tune in to find out more about that. Now, the Wheel of Life is a planning tool that breaks up your life into 6 areas. And I recommend that you categorize your planning for 2025 to help it seem less overwhelming, but it also helps you to be balanced, to take a holistic view and to not hyper-focus on one area and neglect the others. So the areas that I recommend you set goals for yourself in are your physical well-being, your emotional well-being, your relationships, your career or your life path, your purpose, your financial well-being, and your environment. And write down, each of those at the top of a sheet of paper. I love Post-it notes, so I'm going to be doing mine with Post-it notes. But think of, say 3 goals in each area, and maybe make in each area have a small goal, a big, enormous, crazy goal, and like a mama bear goal. Use the 3 bears kind of approach there. And that can help again with having that balance and making sure that things are achievable and doable and that you get to get success and have that dopamine hit. And you'll find that there may be crossover as well. Perhaps your travel goal is related to a financial goal. You need to have the money to go and have that experience. Take some time, get yourself buoyed up, sit down and write out your goals, and then have that plan for 2025 and keep it somewhere visible where you remember, you check in with it. I love having a list, actually. There's mine behind me, and you can check off different things that you've planned to do, and you can see your success, and you can see what's left for you to do in the year. Now, the reason for doing all of this, like I said, it is going to help you with your personal and professional growth, which is what life coaching is all about. I am all about teaching you how to have the most incredible version of life possible. It also really helps you by having all these different experiences. It makes life seem longer. As we get older, our brains take in less information because you're in so many routines, and that's why time seems to pass more quickly as you get older, because there's less bytes of information being loaded into your brain. Whereas when you have something new and exciting to look forward to, or you're learning a new skill, your brain is having to get back into that higher level of processing more often. And so life seems longer, more full, more enjoyable. And really, what more reason could you need than that? I recommend that you set goals for yourself so that you can enjoy your amazing life even more. You'll get confidence from achieving your goals, and you'll go on to achieve more. You'll inspire other people in your circle to achieve more. Life is just so much better when you have goals and you work towards them. Tune in next week, and I'll be talking about the Wheel of Life, which will help you to break down those goals even more. But for now, in this week between Christmas and New Year, enjoy being in this energy of planning, reflecting on your amazing last year and planning next year. And I'm sorry, I just saw the time. This one's a long one. I love you. Have an amazing week.
Thank you for tuning in to this episode of the Redo You podcast. Remember to subscribe, rate, and review, and tell a friend, because together we rise even higher. See you next Friday.